former U.S. President Donald Trump says the FBI has raided his home in Florida. He was not at Mar-a-Lago at the time. Mr. Trump said agents arrived at the compound with a search warrant and broke open a safe. He has condemned the raid as a dark day for the nation and said it was a weaponization of the justice system. The Justice Department has declined to comment, but Mr. Trump's son Eric said the investigation concerned documents taken from Washington. In February, the National Archives said it had retrieved 15 boxes of papers from Mar-a-Lago, which Mr. Trump should have turned over when he left the White House. U.S. presidents are required by law to transfer all of their letters, work documents, and emails to the National Archive.
The dramatic escalation of law enforcement scrutiny of Mr. Trump comes as a Republican prepares for another possible presidential run in 2024. Now, news of the set has mobilized some of Donald Trump's supporters. A group of fans gathered outside the Mar-a-Lago to wave flags and express their anger. House of Representatives Republican Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy criticized the raid, saying the Department of Justice had reached an intolerable state of weaponized politicization. Now, for more on this, we can cross live to the U.S. and join Arise U.S. correspondent Rotimi Kade. Rotimi, I want to say thank you very much for joining us here on Newsday. What more details do we have, and what else do we know about this particular raid that happened at the Mar-a-Lago?
Well, Aaron, thank you very much for having me. We now learned that the search warrant that was executed by the FBI yesterday was actually in the works for a very long time. We understand that they got the warrant from a federal judge, because that's the normal procedure. You have to get that before you can proceed to search anybody's home, and particularly a former president's home. And which, of course, what we saw yesterday was perfectly executed, because at the time when they executed that, the former president was not in his home. And from what we understand as well, that this is in collaboration with the state. For a couple of weeks now, we've had this rumors about the president concealing or mutilating some of the White House records, which is against the law. The 18 USC 2171 law is the federal law that says that it's actually a crime for any federal or public officials to actually mutilate or conceal any federal document. And so far, so good. We cannot say for sure that if this is related to the January 6th committee investigation, but there's obviously all fingers are pointing at what has been going on in Congress, the January 6th committee, who of course want to go down to know exactly what transpired and have access to any document if possible, for the investigation to go on smoothly.
Rotimi, so what's the significance of this raid? I'm certain this has never happened to any former president, has it?
Well, of course, yes. No president in recent memories have actually whether president or former president, have actually had their homes being searched by the FBI, which of course is correct. The former president actually came up yesterday to say that this is a political witch hunt, that the present administration is trying to weaponize the FBI against them, and nothing wrong. But of course, we know that things like this is going to come up, but we are all awaiting what the FBI is going to say about it, whether they are going to come up with a statement 24 hours after for the main reason why they actually invaded, or I won't use the word invasion, but why they went in to the former president's house to search for possible documents that have been purported to have been concealed by the former administration.
All right, let's talk about Donald Trump, who is calling this a weaponization of the justice system. Is this true?
Well, first of all, nobody can say that because we really don't know. FBI is an independent body. They act on their own, though within the ambit of the law. So we cannot say for sure for now. But we all know that there's going to be a political notation to this because of the fact that this has been going on for a long time since the former president left office. There's been one accusation or the other from either the DOJ, Justice Department, or whether the Congress, or also whether people who feel that the former president may have in some way abused his office. So there's definitely a political angle to all of this, and we cannot say for sure now if FBI is complicit, which is very, very rare in this kind of cases.
Well, I'd like to know the reaction of other Republicans and what this could mean for Donald Trump's possible run for president in 2024.
Well, I think we've seen an avalanche of reactions from Republicans in the past 12 hours since the news broke. And it's not pleasant. Everything has been, political. Some called it the Biden's FBI invading former President Trump's Mar-a-Lago home. Some, use some very unprintable words against the administration, and we're definitely going to be seeing all of this angle. Some believe that it's absolutely out of place for the FBI or for the authorization of the DOJ, which is being anchored by this administration to give that permission to actually search the former president's home, which we've never seen in recent history. So there's definitely, and not just the Republican legislators, we're also seeing supporters of former president and sympathizers alike who besieged his home in Mar-a-Lago in support of his course in this. And looking ahead of the midterm elections, obviously, this is going to be a more like a tool that has been handed over to the Republican Party to, will I say, instigate their base, to fire up their base in a way that could really make a lot of people to come out and vote against Democrats. Or perhaps we're going to be seeing also a reaction on the part of the Democrats as well to rally around their support base in a way that will help them to also retain the House and the Senate.
All right, Rotimi, I want to say many thanks to you for bringing us up to speed with the FBI raid at the Mar-a-Lago.